Are you Troy, big leaguer? How does that sound when you find out that you were going to be a Marlin?
Shocking a bit. If anybody that's followed my career like you guys have, and fish on first and fish on the farm, it's been a long road, but I'm more than happy to be here and happy to be around such a great clubhouse and great people.
How'd you find out that you were going to go to St. Louis? I know it was a crazy, like maybe 24 hours for you, and then you were starting that same day, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so it was actually more of a crazy like 48 hours. So we drove home from Durham, which is about a 7-hour drive, and we drove after a 5 o'clock game. So we got in about 4 a.m. on Monday, woke up, kind of hung out with our daughter, hung out with our dog, and didn't think anything of it. It was like, all right, we're just going into a new week. We're going to relax, we're going to sleep in. All of a sudden I get a call about 9:30 from our hitting coach, asking me what I'm doing, where I'm at. I'm like, hey, I'm at home. And it's funny because Carp comes on the phone, and of course when Carp comes on the phone and they're calling you at 9:30 at night on an off day, usually that means something's happening. And I told him, I said, hey, if this is the call that I've been waiting for, like, you need to just tell me. And he just said, yeah, congratulations, you're a big leaguer. And so I broke down in tears. My wife was crying. So it's been a long road, but I'm happy to be here.
You're playing right field today, obviously a position you've played a lot in the minor leagues and expected obviously to be a big crowd because of the Yankees and their history. Have you ever, played in front of a crowd that big in your career? Has that sunken in that you're going to be playing potentially in front of 35,000 plus people?
So if you guys remember, I was actually in the championship series in the Dominican, and that was probably, you're talking about some crazy New York fans, but when you get into a Dominican stadium, it is like take New York fans and double them. So honestly, the people are cool. It's awesome. I've been playing in front of good crowds in Jacksonville and when we go on the road to Charlotte, Durham, different places like that. But, it doesn't bother me too much, especially because I've been in the dugout for the last couple of games. Yeah. But other than that, we'll see how it goes.
How does it feel? Obviously, you played with Marcy, AAA too, to see him come up here and have the success he's had right away. And talk a little bit maybe about your relationship with him going back to the minor leagues.
So it's been fantastic because we've kind of hit behind each other, in front of each other. It's been 1-2, 2-1, whatever it is. But I didn't really know Marcy before this year. Got to know him well, playing together quite a bit, and he's such a great individual. And the best part about it is in his first 2 games, he played his game. He did not try to do too much. He literally did exactly what he's been doing for his whole career, and I couldn't be happier for him.
Take us through that first at bat. You're facing Sonny Gray, a guy who's obviously had a very accomplished career, multiple-time All-Star, Cy Young runner-up one year. That first pitch fastball, 92, and you lace it to right field for a base hit. What was going through your head when you got into the box, and then when you finally snuck it past Brendan Donovan at second base? I have a big league hit. Not only am I a big leaguer, I have a big league hit. What was going through your head before and after, obviously?
Just absolute feel of relief of that I made it up here. I have a stat, I have a hit in the books, and especially on my first at bat. And it was more than just something for myself. It was something for my family. It was something for everything that everybody has sacrificed in, my life and their lives to support me and kind of chasing my dream. And so, it was very, very satisfying to give that to them and of course have it for myself.
Did you get the ball?
I did get the ball, of course. Yes,
okay.
of course.
Talk about this role that you're in. Obviously, Jackson, you played every day. You either let off or hit second. Now you're not in there every day. How does that change your routine, your mentality, maybe coming off the bench, maybe playing a different other positions?
So I'm really thankful for the Marlins in the past couple of years because I've actually got to do this role before in spring training. I did it in the Dominican a little bit. I have a routine and I have things that I do, and there's certain ways that I prep and try to do certain things. They have some great technology in there, of course, with the traject and different stuff like that. But really, I'm just ready for whatever they need. That's kind of the player I've been my whole career. Of course, the organization has been nice enough to let me play every day in the minor leagues, but realistically, I've been the guy that, in my mind, I'm like, you need me to bunt, you need me to steal, you need me to pinch a run, I'll play third base like Don Mattingly if you really need me to.
He did that in the George Brett game.
Yep.
He did. Game. He did. The left-handed third baseman in that game.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Being up, obviously you started St. Louis and now you're facing the Yankees. Were there any guys on the opposite side of the field that you got a chance to talk to? Anybody you haven't talked to that you want to?
So my personal favorite, and again, I did this in the Dominican, was Robinson Cano. He was my favorite player growing up, of course, the Seattle Mariner. But probably the coolest thing that happened in St. Louis was I've been playing against the whole St. Louis team for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And so I knew everybody that was in the lineup. I just saying hi to them, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I haven't really had that shock moment of, this is really cool. This is the person I want to talk to. I've been playing against these guys for a long time.
Yeah.
And so I've met a lot of really cool people and a lot of great people. So for me, it just feels it feels comfortable. It feels comfortable knowing everybody.
Last one for you, because obviously you got a big game facing Luis Hill, making a season debut today. You're coming up at a time when this team is playing arguably its best baseball. Been on an incredible run since that Rocky series. Not only does it mean a lot to you to be a big leaguer, but what would it mean to you to now be a big leaguer on a team that potentially goes to the postseason?
Honestly, it would be fantastic. But again, with my role, I will do whatever the Marlins need to help them win. I'm happy to see such a winning team and such a good clubhouse. I'm really happy to just be a part of all the success that they're having.
One that I have for you is 31. I think it was 31 stolen bases in the minors. Where did that part of your game come? I know you had mentioned it before, JD Orr being someone that really helped you out with that. Now, obviously, do you think that could be something you could bring over to the big leagues?
100%. I think that the Marlins have done a really good job, and especially in the minors, I've said it in multiple interviews, they really don't care if you get thrown out because they want you to put pressure on the pitcher. They want you to steal. They want you to take good jumps, and they want you to pick the right spots. And again, being a guy that's been progressively getting better at stealing bases, I feel like I've been better at picking my spots and knowing when to go, picking up little tricks, little stuff like that, looking at head nods, timing, clock, different stuff. And so if I can get my jump and get my opportunity, great. But just as everybody knows, because they've seen 31 stolen bases, they're going to know I'm going to steal. So I got to be a little bit smarter and, maybe a little faster.